Hey everybody, I'm Dan. Good morning, good morning. I have one reaction. Golf, fantastic activity. Next year, bull riding, right? Like I think we gotta lock that in for next year. Bull riding sounds. Glow bull riding, that's a good idea. Okay, we're gonna start with a game. So I've got candy here in this cup, and I need y'all to jump. You don't have to raise your hand, you're just gonna yell. What is this?
Abacus.
Abacus, that was great, fastest answer. Oh, can't do that. All right. What is this? Yell it out.
Loom.
What kind of loom? What kind of loom?
Rug making.
It does make textiles. Any more guesses what kind of loom this is? It's a mechanical loom. Mechanical loom. Easy one. Phone. Computer. You got that one? All right. Now, here's where I'm gonna, we're gonna get, everyone who answers will get a candy. What do all of these have in common? What'd you say in the back? Outdated, obsolete, okay. Ooh, good hands. What are some other answers? Say it loud.
At some point, it was breakthrough innovation, right?
Yes, at some point it was a breakthrough innovation.
Requires people to operate.
It requires people to operate. You got two.
You give it to him.
You got it? Okay. All of those are fantastic answers. What all four of these things have in common is that when they first came out, they were breakthrough innovations, but more importantly, they were all thought of as a brain or smarter than humans. When the abacus came out, it could do calculations more accurately and of higher volume than a human brain could do. The mechanical loom, all of a sudden textiles were more consistent and could be produced at a higher volume than any human could do on a manual loom. The telephone and computer, I think we all know how those are analogous to the brain. What is being said about AI? It's smarter than humans. It's intelligence. Now, AI, just like all of those inventions, is very revolutionary, but it is not smarter than us. It is not smarter than humans. And Brandon just called it out. He said, you could write 100 blogs right now in a minute. And all of us could on our phones with ChatGPT, and it would not be smarter than us. And the truth is, everyone here is smarter than AI. However, everyone here is also slower than AI. And so with this knowledge, we're going to talk today about how can we use AI to save ourselves and probably more importantly, our teams, time, so that we can focus on the things that we like to do, the things that matter, we can be more efficient, whatever the why is for you. But we need to know this simple truth about this new revolutionary tool that has come out. This is a quote from Eric Pearson. I love this one. It is no longer the big beating the small, but the fast beating the slow. So speed, time, efficiency. This is why our businesses are so successful. This is why there is so much investment going into small and medium-sized businesses in services, because of this simple truth. When you're agile, you can beat big. Okay, all of these inventions, they came out and they're fantastic. They changed history, frankly. But one of the challenges was they were prohibitively expensive to use. So the abacus, even though it's like a board with beads, in order to use it, you needed a lot of training. Can anyone here use an abacus? I know I can't, right? And so it was prohibitively expensive to use that tool. You needed an education. The mechanical loom, huge impact. Each mechanical loom in today's dollars cost about $2.1 million. The telephone, early on, you needed to be a part of the network. The computer, the first computer was the size of a house, right? What's fascinating about AI and these tools, specifically LLMs, is for about 20 bucks a month, we can have this in our businesses. We can give it to everyone on our teams. And so the power here is that this is a very accessible tool and a very price accessible tool at a very early stage. And so if you and your teams are not using AI, or as I like to call it, a $20 a month, super fast assistant with full access to all recorded content, you will be soon. And I sense that most people here are using AI. Okay, Calvin shared a little bit about me, some background. Part of the reason I'm here, and I love doing this, is because I'm a teacher at heart. My first job is I was a high school math teacher. That's me with my really stylish pants and oversized shirt with some of my students. But I needed to make some money. I wasn't making quite enough money. So I went and became a management consultant at Deloitte, and I loved it for certain ways, and I didn't love it for others. I loved it because I learned a ton about business. I learned a ton about growth. This is me, Suzanne, and the team. We call them the kids. After we sold a $7 million project to a very big client. And it was great. I learned a lot, but it wasn't filling my cup. Because when you serve the largest companies in the world, there's not that human element. And so I went and worked with House Call Pro and Conquer Coaching. And at Conquer Coaching, we helped coach over 20,000 service businesses. Learned a ton there. And when you coach 20,000 service businesses, you see a trend. And that trend was really simple. After Conquer exited to House Call Pro, said, okay, the problem here is the businesses that have reliable, repeatable ways to grow their teams win. And those that don't need to get lucky or work really hard. So our business partner and I started thinking about how can we build this system. This is us in my guest bedroom, whiteboarding what Higher Bus could be. And then, a few years later, we've helped hire tens of thousands of employees, helping hundreds of businesses. And what I've learned through all of that, I'm not really going to talk too much about hiring today, is we've used AI. So today, what I'm hoping to do is to give you something. I want to give everyone here something. I want to show how using AI, we can quickly build tools and systems that help our teams and our businesses. And the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to make a promise. At the end of this time, I don't know how much time we have left. We've got 39 minutes. The end of 39 more minutes, excuse me, I'm doing my math wrong. We have like 26 minutes. The end of 26 more minutes, we will have built all of this custom to your business, okay? So how are we gonna do that? First, we're gonna talk about how does AI work. I didn't know this 6 months ago and someone pulled the curtain back and it's changed the way I work with AI. I work with these tools every day because I know this very simple fact about it that gives me a lot of power and a lot of leverage. Then we're gonna talk about what is AI good at. AI is very good at some things and it's very bad at other things. And I think a lot of the time, people use it for the things that it's not good at, and then they lose trust in the tool. So we're gonna talk about what's AI good at, and then how can I use AI? And we are gonna use it today to build out those tools for ourselves. You ready to jump in?
Sure.
Let's do it. I like the sure. Sure, I guess so, yeah. All right, how does AI work? So, when I say AI, I'm talking about Anthropic, OpenAI, Gemini, and what these really are large language models. Okay, that's how most of us interact with AI today on a day-to-day. A large language model, there's many types of AI, but large language models is that revolutionary thing, ChatGPT, that's come out in the last 18 months and changed the way we act every day. So, how does it work? All these large language models are doing is when you ask it a question, say, where is the cat? The large language model is taking all of that data. It's taking everything on the internet. It's taking what's been loaded and put into the model, and it's predicting the next word that is the answer. So when you ask AI, when you type in a ChatGPT, where is the cat? And this is the general ChatGPT model. It'll say, well, probabilistically, the first word is the cat is in the, and then it's gonna predict what the next word is based on all of the information it has. So it might say the cat is in the bag. And that's because the internet, the content that it's loaded, all points to saying that this is the answer that you will want. Now, that's based on probabilities. So based on the data, it might say the cat is in the bag, the cat is in the hat, the cat is in the tree, the cat is in the box. That is the core model. Now, when you add context to AI, when you say, hey, I run a bookstore, it's actually a children's bookstore, and we sell a lot of Dr. Seuss books, right? And then you ask, where is the cat? With this new context that the model has, it might say, the cat is in the hat. Very good. And so when you think about ChatGPT or Claude or whatever it is, and you think about, I've gotten a lot of really generic answers from it, it's because you're using the base model. And the base model is generic. It's looking at all of the internet, it's looking at all of the things that these companies have loaded into it, and it's going to give you a very basic answer back. Now, how do we make AI and ChatGPT work for us a little bit better? Well, we feed it context. We feed it context. That's how these models are getting better over time, is by getting more appropriate context and better context, not just the whole of the internet. And we, as business owners, can feed it context so that it can answer questions more appropriately with the right probabilities. So, context is everything with AI. If we can load in specific information about our business, then it's going to start giving us much more intelligent answers. If we can give it our core values and mission statement, if we can tell us what our ICP is, services, business model, brand voice and tone, marketing materials, production SOPs, then it's going to respond more appropriately. So when we're going to say, when we ask it, what is the ideal project manager? Well, for our business, maybe that's one that can do $3 million a year, lead $3 million a year in work. Or maybe for our business model, it's more important for them to be able to have a certain margin on repaints. When we can load context into these models, we start to get more and more and more detailed answers, okay? So, I think if there's two takeaways from this morning, it's that bull riding is awesome, and we should all go at least watch it. And number two, if there's one thing you leave here from this time, I want you to be really, 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 really focused on that context is everything for using AI. If you don't load it with context, you are going to get bad answers. So one of the things we're going to build is a company context prompt. We're going to build that at the end of this together. It won't be perfect. It will need more work, but it'll be a really good foundation start for your business, okay? Okay, what is AI good at? I put into ChatGPT, please show me a picture of AI versus a human painting. I said doing a commercial paint job. I think this is a pretty strange interpretation of that. But AI is not good at painting. And AI is not good at a lot of things, in fact. AI is good at three main things. It's really good at analyzing data. It's really good at summarizing processes or large data sets. And it's really good at generating content, okay? We're gonna do another fun activity. I've got more candy in here. So here's what I want folks to do. I want folks to pull out their phone or go into their memories and start to think, just rattle off, not this week, but last week, what are some of the things you did? What are some of the things you did last week in your business? And what we're gonna do with these things is figure out what is AI good at, what is AI not good at. So call out, what's an activity you did last week in one of these categories? Org chart. Where did that come from? Way in the back, you think I got this one? Yeah. You wrote a company newsletter, perfect. What else?
Job walk.
Job walks, perfect. I heard estimate. Yeah, in the back. Doing estimates, great. Hired an estimator. You already got food, there you go. Boom, what else? Let's keep them coming. Built an RFP, beautiful. Any more? What was it, Maggie?
She said played tennis.
Played tennis. That'd be pretty fun to play against AI. Okay, so I heard a bunch of things up here. Hired someone. So posting job ads, build career pages, nurturing candidates, interviewing. We talked a lot about estimates, generate estimates, meeting with potential clients. I heard our job walk, so site visits, etc., right? This is a list. You all have plenty of lists of the things that you do, right? But we want to be smart about this and think, okay, out of the things that I need to do, or the things that my team needs to do every week in our business, what would AI be good at and what would it not be good at? I don't think it would be that good at walking a job site. It could be good at generating an estimate, or it could be very good at taking all of the estimates you've generated and analyzing them. It's very good at writing job ads, building career pages, some of the tactical things. We talked about writing a newsletter. AI can both be very good at writing newsletters and very bad at writing newsletters. And I'll talk about that in a second here. And Brandon hit on that. If you just have AI write your newsletter, is anyone going to actually read it? Is any human going to actually want that? Probably not. If you have AI generate an outline, or 80% of it, you could be very successful with having it write newsletters and saving you time. This goes to that similar point. A lot of people that I've worked with have been like, oh my gosh, AI is great. I'm going to have it write 50 social media posts for me. Here you go, ChatGPT. Write it out, do hashtags, give me images, and give me a calendar. What does it come out as? Raise your hand. How easy is it to sniff out when there's a AI-generated social media post? Very, right? This is because AI is a tool. It's a hammer. We still need to swing it. We still need to aim it. So when it comes to that newsletter, a great place to start could be, hey, this is all the context of my business. This is our ICP. These are the services we offer. These are the seasons that we see the most success. Can you help me write an outline for 12 monthly newsletters and specific topics that I might want to hit on? Great, here's my outline. Now it's November. Here's my November newsletter. Here's a little bit of information about a customer I want to spotlight. Here's information about a job I want to do. Here's a promotion we might be running for certain seasonal businesses that we serve. Can you write me an outline and some initial copy so I can get started? Great. In that 2 minutes, you've got a full outline and then an outline to write the newsletter. Now you, the human who's creative and thoughtful and knows your audience, can finish the work, can push it across the goal line, and create something that's really valuable. There's this psychological principle called the Dunning-Kruger effect. Who's heard of the Dunning-Kruger effect? I see some hands. It's applicable in basically all aspects of life, but it's especially applicable in the use of AI and any tool. And here's how it works. As we gain knowledge, something very interesting happens with our confidence. It looks like this. This chart is the Dunning-Kruger effect. And it's true of running a business. It's true of anything you start. As you start initially, you have this spike of confidence. You're up there. You're like, wow, I know a little bit about this. I started a business. I just did a job. I can do this. It's great. I know everything. We call this being on the peak of Mount Stupid. And it's whenever I talk about this, I go back to all of the times I've been on the peak of Mount Stupid and all the times I continue to be on the peak of Mount Stupid. And it's humbling because I think we've all been there. And eventually, pretty quickly, we tumble to the valley of despair. And I felt this big time when I started using ChatGPT. I was like, oh my gosh, I just typed in 2 sentences and it gave me 50 social media posts and it sounds so intelligent. I'm gonna send these to my graphic designer, put them up, and I don't need to hire Brandon to do my marketing because that $20 a month robot's gonna do it for me. I'm a genius. I'm gonna run a great business. We call this the valley of despair once you fall and once you post those things and you realize no one's engaging with them because they're generic. They're not creative. Everyone knows it's AI. But over time, you start to use the tool more and understand how to use it. How does it give you more leverage? By creating outlines, by giving you brainstorms and you selecting the best ideas. And you slowly work your way up the slope of enlightenment until, and I'm not here yet, until you get to this idea of mastery. And so this is the thing that I want to be really communicative about, is I've gone to a bunch of conferences over the last year where people talk about AI and they're like, oh my gosh, it's great. It's going to take all your phone calls. It's going to write all your things. It's going to do X, Y, and Z. And it might at one point, and it should at some point, but it is a tool right now. And so if we don't use it as a tool and don't get stuck in the valley of despair saying this thing stinks, it's not specific, we need to know how we can use it as a tool, and eventually we'll get mastery of it. Okay, reminder, everyone in this room is smarter than AI, but we are also slower than AI. Exactly. All right, how can we use AI? Sweet, I got about 15 minutes left. Perfect. Who's read this book? Buy Back Your Time. I see a big hand in the back. That was an excited hand. What did you love about the book?
It's changed so much. First of all, my mindset.
Really? What specifically about your mindset?
Personally, we have a medically challenged child this year.
Yeah.
It came as a surprise, and I became overwhelmed, and I considered changing significant pieces about my business in response. Instead, I hired someone for 20 hours a week to come in and help our family handle the medical crisis by doing custom cooking and all the things that needs to happen right now in our home. That I thought I was exchanging for a while the role of mom, but I need to be in my role, and I get to play mom, but I don't have to do all those additional things that are now required.
Well, thank you for sharing, first of all.
It's because of that book.
Well, that's amazing. Thank you for sharing that, and thank you for like reflecting so much on like what our role is as business owners, parents, etc. That is the exact takeaway that I had with this book. I really highly recommend it if you haven't read it. It's by this guy Dan Martell. He's big in the software space, but he's starting to impact a lot of service industries with his coaching. There's a lot of service businesses, specifically like mechanical businesses, HVAC, electrical, plumbing, that are using some of his teachings. And the takeaway of this book is really interesting, at least my takeaway is very similar to yours, was as we grow in our business, there's like a playbook of tasks that we do, and our job kind of changes. And it pushes the thinking to say, you are in charge. What are the things that you hate doing that you can buy back, either with people or technology or both? And so if you like doing certain things in your business that a CEO doesn't do, that's okay. You can still do that. If you love writing newsletters because they're very high leverage, do that, because that can be a highly leveraged task. If you like recording paid ads or videos, do that, because that's a highly leveraged task, even though you could pay someone $20 an hour to do it. So we're talking about when should we use AI. And I think we should think about it in the same way that we should use our teams. We first want to think about the things that AI is good at from that list. It's good at generating content, analyzing data, and summarizing processes. And we also want to think about the things that we hate doing. Now, writing a newsletter. I personally would not be very good at that or would not enjoy it. But I know a lot of people are. You want to find that Venn diagram. The things that AI is good at, the things that I hate doing, that's where you want to focus your efforts with AI. Think about the things we highlighted. Writing job ads is a great example of one. Building careers page copy is a great example of one. Brandon was talking about SEO, blogs. That's a really great example of one where you can get started and then finish it as a human. I've had a lot of success with clients in the past of having AI analyze P&Ls. Plug in your P&L and have it tell you what are some areas to focus. It's a great way to save time in your monthly financial reviews. All right. We're right at the 30-minute mark. Good for us. Okay. Are y'all ready to build? Yes. I get some claps. Are you ready to build? Oh, yeah. Okay. So here's how we're going to build. If you want to build these documents, raise your left hand. Okay, I see a bunch. That's good. With your right hand, take out your phone. And what I'm going to have you do is open up your camera app. And we're going to build these 4 documents using AI, using context for your business. And this is just to show you and give you a really good start. So you're walking out of here with a Google Drive folder that has 4 Google Docs with no branding, with these 4 documents based on your business. This is how we're going to do it. You're going to scan this code, okay? And there's going to be a form, a type form. Everybody, before I can go and explain the type form, I need to make sure everyone has it, the links work, and all that good stuff. I see you got it. Cool. It should be like a gray screen. All right, so here's the context that you're going to add. Now, I know our 2 takeaways from today are that bull riding is awesome and that context is everything in AI. This is the context that we're going to load today. And it's going to be a very good start. But if you can load all your SOPs, if you can load your ideal candidate profile, if you can load some of your marketing materials specifically in the context prompt that you build, then you are going to be successful. So name and email. That I'm going to email you a link with this. Business name, website, revenue. And then the 3 areas that you really want to spend a minute or 2 entering are these last 3. What makes your business unique? 3 to 4 sentences about what makes you unique versus others in your area. What are your core values? If you have core values on your walls that your employees know, please share those. It's really important to make sure that that level of information is in there, because as you write marketing content, as you write job ads, as you write any of this content, it's going to be really important that what matters to your business and what doesn't matter to your business is front and center. And then because the content that we're talking about is based on like job ads, careers page, what is the most needed position and your plan pay for them so that we have some of that tactile information, okay? So I'm going to give everyone 4 minutes. This is working session, and you won't leave with homework. I'm going to walk around and help people that need it. If you've completed the survey initially. Okay, show of hands if you haven't, and you need a little bit more time. I see some, don't be scared. That's probably better if you need more time. We're all great at multitasking in 2024. So if you need to like type away and answer some more, proceed, keep doing it. But I want to talk a little bit about the output. I'm going to go back quickly. So out of these documents, it takes about like 5 minutes to analyze and generate. So I don't know has anyone gotten the email yet? Okay, cool. So did you open the Google Drive link?
Yeah.
And it's just like a folder with 4 blank Google Docs, right? It works? That's good. I'm glad it works. Okay. So a few things. You're going to get these 4 documents based on your inputs. Job ads, careers page copy, candidate nurture sequence. Those are what I think of as like short-term wins, right? You can just use those tomorrow or Monday, whenever you're going to like go back and sit at your desk. The 4th document is one I want you to probably pay the most attention to. This is the one that's going to feel the most useless right now, but will be the most useful in the long run. The company context prompt. Now, is this company context prompt that you just generated in 3 to 5 minutes the best company context prompt ever? No. But it's a really good start, and it's a really good framework. So what I want you to do with this company context prompt is when you have time, that's when I want you to literally paste in your marketing ICP materials. Paste in information about your business, such as like all of your core values. Paste in some of your SOPs. Paste in aspects of your company handbook. This company context prompt will be the document that you will use the most, because every single time you ask ChatGPT to do something for you, you will start by saying, here is a document that has a bunch of context on my company. Paste. Then you'll say, ChatGPT, do the thing I want you to do. And now it'll know about your company and that context that's so important, so your answers aren't overly generic. I had some really good questions from the audience. Cool, and I've got about 7 minutes left. Question 1. I'm loading information into ChatGPT. Is that information now in the public? This is something very important. The answer can be yes. So you have to be careful about what type of ChatGPT or Claude Anthropic account you have. If you're using a free account, that information is going into ChatGPT. Now, if you buy an account, if you pay the $20 a month and set up a business account, then no. That is not going to the public. You can upload financial documents, et cetera, and it will not be accessible and the model will not be trained on it. So it's really important that when you have this platform, ChatGPT, in your business, set up a business account, and then you can add your employees that you want to use the tool to that organization. That was a really good question. Another question I got was...
You have to open a business account, right?
Yes. Yeah, you have to, and I think it's called like an organization account. You'll know because in the upper right corner, it shows a little like diamond versus your initials. And if you have questions about it, I can share my email and I can just like help you all later. Yeah.
There is a setting in ChatGPT under data controls, if you go in your settings, where you can unclick improve for everyone, improve the model for everyone, and it will keep the data from becoming public. So I just found that out 2 weeks ago at an AI platform that we went to in Atlanta. So just something that will help keep intellectual property private.
That is a great one. So you're saying even with the non-business account, you can check that. Okay, I would recommend doing that. Like I like helping, I like giving back, but I also want to be able to upload my financial documents and not worry that they're getting stolen. So I think that's a pretty valuable thing for especially business owners to do. The other question I got was, hey, I'm hiring for multiple roles. Should I fill out this form multiple times? You could, but what I would actually recommend that you do is you take the output for one of the roles that you've done, and then you enter into ChatGPT, you say, this is the output that I built for a project manager role, but I actually need to hire an estimator role too, and here's a little bit more information about the estimator. Can you rewrite this job description based on that information? One thing Matt and I were talking about really quickly is, I guess it was this summer, right? I did a similar workshop. It was a little bit longer. We had laptops out and stuff. And Matt's been using the prompt to write job ads. And he said he did it like this week. And so what he's been doing is taking the output from this and then using it to tweak it and make it better. And that's the big takeaway here is like, this will be a very good start for you, but it's only a tool. It's not the end all be all. You'll need to add and tweak. Those were the big questions I had. What other questions does the group have? Truthfully, I actually don't really type out much to ChatGPT. I use the microphone button on there a lot. So if I'm at my desk and I'm needing to work with ChatGPT, or even if I'm using it on my phone, what I'll say, and if you guys want to, side note, if you all want to meet with me to talk about either AI or hiring, you can do so here. But your answer, I'll talk to it. So I'll say like, hey, and often I don't get to the end result super fast. I get to like prompting it. And what I mean by that is I'll say, hey, I need to hire a project manager and I need to write job ads and build a careers page. What are some questions that you have for me so that your eventual output can be really good? And then it'll answer back and it'll say like, I need to know the role, I need to know the position, I need your location. I'll be like, great, I'm in Denver. We're doing 3.5 million this year. We're planning to go to 5. And then I'll say like, are you ready for me to now upload an example document? And I'll say yes. And then I'll drag and drop the document. So I found the voice back and forth to be the best use case because I can't type fast enough to keep up with it. And I feel like it's kind of almost agitating because it's so much faster than me. Yeah.
Would you mind throwing the QR code for the do that exercise again?
Yeah. You want the cat?
No, yeah, that's good.
Okay, I'll leave that up there for y'all.
Thank you.
Yeah. I haven't used MeetGeek particularly, but I use a thing called read.ai, and everyone in our company does. And it's like, that is a great example of how to save time with AI. What are the things that it's good at? Summarizing, analyzing, and creating content. It summarizes the meetings, it analyzes what the performance was or what the takeaways was, and then it generates it. It's like, but MeetGeek, I'm going to check it out now because we've been using read.ai, but that's a really good use case for saving time with AI. Thank you for sharing that with everyone. MeetGeek, is that what it's called? There's a Google AI Assistant for Google Suite, which includes your email, Drive, all of those tools. I haven't used it personally. Some of the engineers on my team do, and they find it really useful for one thing. And this is secondhand, so take that with a grain of salt. But it's good at generating like an email response that you can then tweak. So it'll offer up a potential response to an email that you can be like, yeah, that's good, send. Or you'd be like, I don't like the way that sounds, I need to tweak that. There's also, it's supposed to be able to summarize your Drive documents, so like all your Google Docs and Google Sheets. I haven't used it yet though, so I can't speak to that. That's really cool. PLAUD, Plod. That's another one to write down. MeetGeek, Plod, 2 really cool tools. I think I'm over time, but questions, if that's okay. I don't want to mess up the schedule, Kelvin. It's cool. Any more questions, comments from the group? Yeah, review contracts. It's great at summarizing, right? Like it's so good at summarizing contracts and highlighting where there could be areas for you to dig in. That's a really great use. All right, y'all. Appreciate it. If you have questions,